Reddit, what was the worst thing you did as a horny teen? Not safe for work. Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will be rude. Fact: while tubing down a river, my family was 200 yards behind me. They stayed back on purpose. They knew, dude. They knew. I fapped on an airplane. That was cool, I guess. Hijacking. There, I said it. Got an in-house suspension, which is when you have to sit in a room all day at school rather than stay at home. The room I had to stay in was attached directly to the vice principal's office. It had nothing in it except for a table and a chair. I was supposed to be doing homework all day. After a few hours of doing nothing and no one checking in on me, I beat the it out of my dong. Came on the carpet. I had a friend in elementary school that had this. They checked on him, like clockwork, every 2 hours. He found out from another student that is how it worked, so the first 2 hours he did the piddly homework sheets he had, was in 5th grade, and then after the first check, he locked the door, set his watch to go off 5 minutes before the next check, and took a nap. He woke up each time 5 minutes before and unlocked the door and sat in front of his, already done, homework when they checked on him. Slept most of the day away. Being in 6th grade, he was a grade below me, and being his friend, I thought it was pretty cool, though I never tested the theory myself. I got 1 day in school suspension when I was in grade 4 or 5. I took a book I had read before, lay down on the couch, opened it to a random page, and put it on my chest. Then I fell asleep. When they came to check on me, I would wake up before they opened the door and quickly grabbed the book and start reading. When they left, I skipped forward a few pages and fell back asleep. One time I didn't wake up until they already saw me sleeping, and they started yelling at me for sleeping, so I told them I wasn't sleeping, I was just trying to visualize what I'd just read. Fingered my girlfriend while parents were in the room. I'll bet they could smell something was up. Why does it smell like pussy in here all of a sudden, honey? I don't know. Why don't we ask the kids? Put ice cubes in my butts for fun. You have more than one? Well, we had 2 dongs, guy, so I guess it was only a matter of time. I jerked off 5 minutes before class and ended up being late, because I always bask for 10 minutes. I tried to frick my couch when I was 13. Not even a throwaway, I have no shame. Oh man, I would have definitely thrown away a couch full of semen. I used to ride my bike quite a lot when I was a teenager. One day, I got this idea to ride my bike to my grandmother's house. It's about 8 miles, round trip. So I ride my bike out there, and sure as they're not home. There's a huge hill probably a quarter of a mile long, and on the way down this hill I rode with no hands, and then it struck me. I shoved my hand in my pocket and beat my head until I came, riding a bike no-handed, down a fairly steep hill. I think about this quite often, and I'm so glad I didn't fall off my bike. I ain't even mad, that's impressive as frick. Fapped on a coach, whilst everyone around me was asleep. I found out last year the girl who sat next to me wasn't. I found my mom's vibrator, and I was horny. So I turned it on and put it against my dong and rubbed up and down until I came. Only until my post-cum consciousness kicked in did I realize the horror. Yeah, you should have gone with prostate massaging. And that was how the rectal problems started. How's your little brother/son doing? Welcome to Castle Rock, Uncle Dad. Poured shampoo all over my dong when I was laying in the bath. Got some in the pee hole. Days of endless sharp jabs of agony. I made this mistake once. Just once. I figured, hey, this ought to feel pretty good. Finished, then went to take a leak. As my urine traveled out my urethra, I saw the faces of myriad gods weeping in the cosmos for me. It was so excruciatingly painful that I pulled my boxers up, ran to the living room and said, I need to go to the hospital now. Mum asked, why? What did you do? I was so worried I'd broken my new pull toy that I didn't even hesitate. I was playing with myself and I got shampoo in my peanuts and I can't get it out. It burns like lava. Please let's go. Mum started laughing. In this moment where reality was singing me the song of doom and damnation, she laughed. Oh, it'll come out. Go drink some water. Your big sister did that too. The next day mum had left a tube of KY for me on my bedroom TV and a note that said, "Don't waste shampoo on your Johnson." Oh, and of course being my mother now everybody I ever have come in contact with that she also knows gets to hear about it. When I was 12, I was home alone and extremely horny. When fapping wasn't enough, I walked around the house, naked, with a boner. I was looking for somewhere to put it in. After some searching, I saw my bicycle. I laid it down on the floor and pillar drived my peanuts into the peg. I only got 2 pumps in before I realized how terrible of an idea this was. I proceeded to feel disgusted with myself for the rest of the summer. Bro, you fricked a bike? You could say he gave it a ride. I had a really soft and fluffy blanket on my bed. I would get naked and lay on it, because it was so soft. Then I started moving around and found out how great it felt on my dong. I would eventually start to come on that blanket. A lot. Several times a night. No cleanup. I just left it. My mum mentioned how dirty it was when she washed it one time. She knew. That was probably her subtle way of saying stop jizzing on the blanket, it's gross. Having this in your comment history is not worth the karma it gave you. You know those guys on Omegle? I was one of those guys. I'm still one of those girls. IBBY, you want some fuck? In 8th grade, I saw a girl's boob touch the edge of her desk, not like naked boob or anything, but like fully clothed boob. When nobody was in the room, I went over and licked the desk. I'm not proud of this. Had sex with my then girlfriend in the elevator of my high school. Since I'm wheelchair bound, I took her on the elevator with me a couple of times. One day we just decided to push the emergency stop button. Good thing the alarm was not working at the time. Really? She joked. Yes, really. Just roll with it. She pushed my chair into the elevator. It was the first tight fit of the hour. Going down? I winked. She laughed and pressed the button for the ground floor. After a few seconds she reached for the stop button. This was it. The elevator grinded quickly to a halt. No alarm. We were dead in the water, and rigor mortis was definitely setting in. She jumped on top of me, biting and kissing, the confined space giving us a full sense of intimacy. There were no words exchanged for the next 10 minutes as we traded pleasure like 2 angry spice salesmen haggling, each of us sure we were giving the better offer and refusing to back down. Finally, we were spent. She straightened her hair, closed her shirt over and smiled at me. Was it good for you? The elevator started up again with a quick push of a button. So good I can't even feel my legs. So good I can't feel my legs. You are my freaking hero. Me, heterosexual male, and couple of my friends went out one snowy night at age 13 and made a snowman with a huge peanuts. We all sucked his snow peanuts for about 10 minutes. We all got horribly sick and had to stay home from school for a week. My friend and I, both 17, double teamed a girl at a sleepover. The sad part is that my other friend asked her out the next day. Story time. So it's my friend's birthday, let's call him Bob. So Bob invites all the usual people. But Bob's sister invited her friend, so the party continues and I start talking to this girl. It turns out she likes me. I, being the player I am, go to my friend and say, I'm in their dog. Party ends. It's Bob's sister's friend, my other friend and me. We are sitting on the couch, I playing with the girl, and Bob goes to bed. It just my friend, the girl and me. My friend then starts to fill her up. I'm sporting full cup. I take the back and he takes the front. 20 minutes later we are both done. Go to bed and get up. It turns out Bob asked out the girl. To this day Bob never know what happened that night. Come on man. Details. People are trying to jerk off here. I was on the bus to a youth church conference. FWB was in the same seat. It was like a 20-hour drive, so a lot of the bus was asleep. Well, she throws a blanket over us and goes to town with her hand. I start getting close and say I don't know what we are going to clean it up with, to which she responds, don't worry about it, just let me know when. Somewhat confused, a few seconds later I tell her now. Her head disappears under the blanket. And that is how I found heaven. Either this is way too common on church buses, or I know you. Did this happen in 2007? Oh wait. When I was 16 I pretended I was 18 and posted an ad on Craigslist. Hooked up with a 25-year-old. All kinds of illegal. Aren't you 16 this year? Your username says so. It's 2014 now. Being 17 is a possibility. Had sex with my younger brother, 9, and sister, 10, on my bed. We were all watching a movie, and I just kind of wriggled my pants down and my boyfriend entered me from behind and went slow. I don't remember anymore if he finished or not. Oh well, I read that wrong. Yeah, it was a lot more shocking the first way. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will be rude.